reached out to Afterpay several times via email. I was sending screenshots. I was paying orders that were more that were due after as proof. Like there's not an issue with my card. Like it's not that I don't have the money. It's not letting me pay it. They shut their phone lines down. They take forever to respond. You get like all these automated responses. That just shows that they're really not reading what you're saying. I had a purchase for Bath and Body Works of candles, and the order came like with like all the candles are broken. I reached out to Bath and Body Works. They apologized. They said that they were issuing a refund. They sent me the confirmation that for the refund, and then I got the email like when you see your order total, it said 0. And typically when there's a refund, I know like maybe like after a couple of days, and Afterpay will go ahead and process it. But I didn't see a refund. So I reached out to them. I filed a dispute. I sent them the screenshot from the email they sent saying that they were crediting it back, as well as a screenshot from, my profile showing that the order total said 0. And I actually had 2 orders. So they took care of one of them and refunded it, but they didn't do the other. And so I have been reaching out, but I didn't want my Afterpay messed up. So I still, made the next payment anyway. And I was like, I'll just, work with it. It was only like $15 payments. But the 4th payment, I know it was due on the 27th of January. And I knew like a couple days prior when I was trying to I would make my payments. Every other payment will go through, but that one. But I don't know. I was just like, maybe because it was the dispute, like something, I don't know. So I was like trying different cards and like no card work. I had even like uploaded my bank account information and tried to do like a check payment. And so that's when I started reaching out. I'm like, okay, like I don't want to be late, but it keeps telling me that the payment is, there's an error. But I'm paying every other payment and it's going through, like even the ones that weren't due, for another week or so that was higher than that amount. And so I'm like, well, it's not any of the cards. It's not the account. And I think it was because that order was supposed to have been refunded anyway. So I literally sent so many emails that when I got a response back, the man named Dan told me to please stop sending the emails because I have multiple tickets open and they don't want like all these different people working on it at the same time. And I'm like, okay, well, I just really want this resolved. Like I've been with you guys for years and I know like you always threaten like any late payment, like your credit limit is got like everything is just gone. So I'm like, I don't want to be late. The weekend came, then everybody, even though they said that everybody's, they have people working around the clock, nobody was responding. So then finally, like after the 27th that passed, maybe like midday or later in the evening of the 28th, it said that the Afterpay Plus card subscription was suspended. And that's the subscription where basically you could use Apple Pay and it will split your payments for anywhere into 4s. So of course, it's like, I didn't want to lose that. And I'm like, I didn't even do anything wrong. And so I was sending them screenshots. And then like, it was like, I was getting automated responses because I will literally send a whole list. I'm sending screenshots and this, and that. And then it'll be like, oh, well, we take, the payment something very serious. If you're late, then you're limited. And this is like, did you read any of what I just said? Like, I'm not late. And so then I finally got somebody that seemed like they were like giving a real response. And they were like, oh, like your card was declined. And I'm like, no, like my card is not declined. And I was like, okay, watch this. And so the payment was like $15 and something. I had another payment due like later on in the week for like $16. I literally went and made that payment, screenshotted it like, hello, if there was an issue with the card, then it wouldn't work. And then obviously I wouldn't pay something that's not due yet, but then be late on something that's due that's cheaper. So like I'm doing this to show them like, no, this is the issue. I even went as far as to go into the Bank of America app and, you could put in like card declined. And if your card was ever declined, it'll pop up and give you the reason and nothing showed up. So I'm like screenshotting that. And I sent so many emails and I was just getting angry. And I'm like, can someone call? And so that's how I found like your site, and but the number that it gives you, they're like, oh, well, in order to best serve you, we shut down the phone lines, but we have people, like basically working around the clock. And I'm like, well, where are they? And like I keep getting these, and now at this point, my credit limit is gone, the Afterpay Plus subscription is gone, and everybody's just like, oh, well, you didn't pay, and it's like, oh my god, like so. Finally somebody was like, oh, well, we're going to see, what's going on with the issue. And like days are going by. So then finally she's like, somebody called me, and I told her like what was going on. And she's like, oh, like, I don't really know what to do. But I'll try to go ahead and reinstate the credit limit. And so I'm like, okay, well, what about the Afterpay Plus card? Not to mention, backtrack. Not to mention, while I'm going back and forth in this process, the Bath and Body Works order was refunded. So now the late payment they were saying is gone because you had to give me my money back from, all the other 3 payments that I had already made. So it's like, well, clearly you guys had looked and saw that there was an issue, because this was an order. This was supposed to be Christmas stuff. So this was an order from like in December. So why are you just refunding it all of a sudden? But you're acting like you don't know what the issue is and keep telling me that I'm late. I'm like, I've had this account maybe like 3-4 years and I've never been late. Like I've never missed a payment or anything. And then so she was able to get the credit limit reinstated. And then the Afterpay Plus card, she's like, oh, you have a block. Like, I feel like they just say, or like automated. So she's like, oh, you have a block on your experience, so we weren't able to reinstate it. And I'm like, no, I don't. Like, I work on my credit all the time. Like, I was just on my experience. So I went to the website and it shows like, it actually asks you if you want to place a lock. So like clearly, if I had a lock, it wouldn't be asking me. So I screenshotted that and I sent that, and then it's just nothing. She's like, oh, like, like, well, we don't know. And like, not to mention that subscription, I mean, it was only $5.99, but I paid for that subscription. And you guys just took it away, and I didn't do anything wrong. You saw like all bank statements, screenshots, so many emails, like I'm sending you everything. And then it's like, I had to send maybe literally like 27 emails just to get a phone call. And then you didn't fix it, but it's like, they just like, they don't want to call you, but everything is online. Like it's almost just like a robot is reading the messages, and it is extremely frustrating because you're sending, all the proof, and then it's like, oh, so we understand that you're upset that your Afterpay, Plus card is gone. We take credit factors, and it's like, that wasn't the issue. Like, did you read? And so I'm still waiting for a call back, an email back, reactivation or something, and just nothing. For them to reactivate my Afterpay Plus subscription. And I feel like they should even increase the credit limit just for the inconvenience. Like, it's been really nasty. I mean, not to mention that I paid for, this time period for the Afterpay Plus card that I haven't been able to use. And it's their fault. So that's what's just like more frustrating. Like, even once you realize like, oh my goodness, like we should have refunded this order anyway. Like all of this is over this that shouldn't went through. Like, we're sorry. What, as a courtesy, let's go ahead and, give you a $2,500 limit. You've been with us 4 years and never been late. Let's go ahead and reactivate, your Afterpay Plus card. Let's give you next month free with the subscription since you paid and you haven't been able to use it. Because they were like, when they cancel it, even if you pay, it's non-refundable. It's like, I didn't do anything wrong, so why do I just lose out? So